You are back in the now, and I am thankful and grateful for everyone to be here. This is On the Sevens with Pyphorus B. Metatron. I am Pyphorus B. Metatron, your hostess with the mostest. And again, I'm very, very grateful to be here. I'm going to open up the floor. Anyone has anything to say? Anyone want to say anything about the lesson that we covered on the one? And did you notice any ones or one energy in your life in the past couple of days? No. Well, as we keep going and as we get into these numbers and break down the intricacies of all the numbers, you will begin to notice how they not only play out in your life, but how they play out in the things and everything that we do in our lives. So with that, I'm going to run on into the lesson for today. We are still in the introduction into Master Self Numerology. Today is number 2. Number 2 is assigned to the letters B, K, and T. Number 2, if there's a watchword for number 2, and number 2 covers number 2, I'll talk about 11 and 20 deeper into the lesson today, but today's lesson is covering the number 2, which also covers the number 11 and the number 20 today. So if there's a watchword or a buzzword for the number 2, the number 2 is the peacemaker. And just like we did with number 1, I don't list the words as positive or negative. I believe positive and negative are extremes of something that's in the middle, and it's the perception of first the person and then the outside stimuli that makes it positive or negative. So if you have your pencil and paper, you want to write these down. I'm going to give you the words, the characteristical words of the number 2. Arbitration, mediation, diplomacy, tact, and persuasion, association, partnerships, agreement, consideration, sensitivity as far as aesthetics are concerned, modesty and sincerity, culture, graciousness, spiritual influences, and the gatherer of facts. Over conscientiousness, self-conscious, timidity, fear, shyness and slyness, unhappiness, aloneness, strife, discord, negation or halting or interruption in plans. Sometimes the extremist, sometimes get caught up in too much detail and the loss of time. Femininity. Remember, number 1 was masculine. Number 2 is feminine. And the colors, the power colors for the number 2 are as follows: gold, salmon, prune, white, and black. So let's discuss some of these words for the number 2. I have tremendous experience with the number 2. I've been around a bunch of first step number 2s and number 2 destinies And I do see, especially the arbitration, mediation, and diplomacy. Anybody want to comment on the keywords for the number two? Got any comments? I know it is, and these keywords are very important for each number. The keywords I give for the numbers, these keywords are very important. Arbitration, mediation, diplomacy, all are hallmarks for a number two or a 20 or an 11. Um, Balance. I think of balance when I think of arbitration, mediation, and diplomacy, because whenever there's an arbitration or a mediation or a need for diplomacy, that means two sides are out of balance. You know, you have two people. One person think you owe them $1 million, the other one think they owe you $1. You don't have to go to arbitration for that, or you're going to have to go to mediation, or both of you guys are going to have to use diplomacy to come to an agreement, because the number two calls for balance. It calls for balance. The scales are balanced with the number two. Number twos use tact persuasively. You know, just as I said, the number one is bold and yeah. The number two is normally very soft-spoken. Normally give you nice, easy and even eye contact. And regardless of how extreme you're getting, number two normally stays what? Balanced. The number two, and when I get to association and partnerships, that's what two is. Two is an association of two ones. Two is a partnership between two ones. Partnerships are very, very strong. Partnerships of all kinds. And the two make partnerships a priority in their life. And they become partners with their spouses, partners with their parents, partners with their children, partners with the boss at the job, partners with the job, partners with the bus driver, whoever, partners with whoever, the person behind the counter at Starbucks. You build a partnership. There's nothing casual going on for the number two. The number two is here to build partnerships. It's here to bring people and divergent opinions, to bring them together, bring them to the table of compromise. There's always a table of compromise when dealing with the number two, always. Agreement. We can see how number one is a maverick. Number one is by itself, solo tip, just woo, answered only to themselves. You could see number two is all about agreement. When their environment is not agreeable, it's not harmonious, when there's a lot of discord or dysfunction in the environment, it rubs them the wrong way. It gets on their nerves. It actually makes them nervous in a physiological sense. Gives them anxiety, gives them that anxious anxiety, that nervous anxiety. Twos are the most considerate of all of the numbers. There is consideration always in the two. Even in the clapback or the sarcasm, there's still consideration in the two. I've been cussed out by every number in the book, and the nicest cussing out I ever got was from a two. They're just considerate. They're just considerate, naturally considerate. Very sensitive. And when I say aesthetics, yes, it could be their own physical appearance, but more than that, it is with how things look to the folks outside. when I say sensitivity aesthetically, it's really how is my shit looking to people outside? How am I looking? How and what am I projecting? Very, very modest, very, very sincere, some of the most gracious and cultured and refined people on the planet have strong two energy in their chart and in their names. Spiritual wrecking ball in a great way. Tremendous spiritual influences with the two. Um, um, when we get to the number 11, that's going to have its own. I'm going to do 11 by itself as well. But the 11 is a master number, and they're the spiritual messengers. The 11 has power to hold sway over the masses. Your words, you can hold sway over the masses with your words. And you are a spiritual messenger. The 2, the 11, the 20. You're a spiritual messenger, whether you are aware of it or not, whether you want to be or not, you are a very, very powerful. You have powerful spiritual influence in you. Over half of the reactions that you get out in public are not because of your looks or how you look or anything like that. It's because people, when you walk by somebody, a 2, 11, 2, or a 20, 202, your spiritual aura, it pushes them. I mean, you have a very strong spiritual aura that protrudes out from you. And that's what they feel. And that's what people experience. Most people don't know that it's your spiritual aura. So they react to probably how you're looking physically and all of that. Just know that most of the time it's not because of your physical appearance, it's because of that spiritual aura that just jumps. It just jumps out. You spiritual even when you don't want to be. The 2, the 11, 2, and the 20, 202. And you guys are naturally, the 2s are naturally fact gatherers. They naturally are because of the balance. So the 2 can hear a story about something and they'll go, One will hear them just take off running. Wow, wow, wow. And he won't even wait. He or she won't even wait. The 2 will hear something and go, and then they'll go research and gather some facts on their own. And before they make any decision about it, they're going to listen to what they heard, and then they're going to look at and read what they have found, and then they'll blend them together. They'll bring it into harmony. They'll bring it into harmony until it is a balanced thought, a balanced concept, a balanced idea in their soul and in their mind. If they can't balance it out, that's troubling for the 2. It has to balance. Everything has to balance for the 2. And because of their sensitivity, they're over conscientious. 2s, 11, 2, and the 202, if you find $100 on the ground, you're going to be looking around, walking around, asking everybody, did you just drop this? You're over conscientious. If you get extra money back from the cashier, you give it back to them. Over conscientious, which is not a bad thing. Being conscientious is not a bad thing at all. Your sensitivity does lend to some self-consciousness. And because of your need to balance everything, it can look like you're timid or afraid, which you're really not timid or afraid. You're just not moving until you get your balance. You're not gonna be swayed in one way, get pushed in this way and pushed in that way. Now, an unbalanced or a low level 2 can get pushed. We know that scripture in the Bible, those of us that have been exposed to the Bible, get pushed by every wind of doctrine, just get pushed this way and pushed that way and pushed. And yet, and still in all of the pushing and in all of the chaos, all you're seeking is balance and calm. Shyness and slyness comes because of your consideration and because of your sensitivity. And then the strife and discord only comes when, again, you can't balance something out. The 2 has a natural delay. in it, and that can cause the negation or delays in plans, especially if you're dealing with some self-conscious issues. And again, low level and very sleep to sometimes go to the extremes, one extreme to the next. Can't get caught up in the minutia and in the tiny details. However, there's no one more thorough than the two. So what somebody would say, well, you're being just too detailed about it, is something normal for the two. Never allow anyone to tell you you're too detailed or you're taking too much time. The two will move when things are balanced. You don't like stepping up and then down and back and forth and all that. Either you're gonna move forward or you're gonna move backwards or you're gonna move up or down. But all this back and forth and up and down and round and round, and yeah, the two, yeah, that just bugs the heck out of you. Any comments? Any comments? All right, all right. So we're going to go on to the spiritual code of the two. The spiritual code of the two, you are the light. The two is the light bearer from on high. The two has a direct connect. You guys remember Nextel Direct Connect? And if you had it on your phone or somebody else, you could hit a button and it would go right to their phone, the Direct Connect. That's the two and the cosmos, the two and God, the two and source, the two and creator, whatever it is that the two identifies with as source creation or God or Allah, whatever it is, the two has a direct hotline there. You bear light. When the two brings darkness, it upsets you at the soul core level. It makes you, sometimes even make you physically sick, having to be the heavy. The two is the light. The two don't want to be the heavy. It hurts them to hurt anybody. The two shall not grope in darkness. Two get real nervous. If the lights power goes out in the house and you got a two in the house, watch out. Watch out, because they should not be groped. They should not be plunged into darkness. They should not feel like they're blind. Not being able to see would definitely be something very depressing for a two. Darkness, the two just does not like the darkness at all. At all. I'm not saying it's a fear, but they just don't like the darkness. And it physically changes them when they have to deal with the darkness or have to bring the darkness themselves. The two is yes, Sharon.
What are the best career choices for a two? Just curious.
I'll get to that. Give me about 5 minutes and I'll get over there. Absolutely. The two has the light of God, light of the cosmos, light of the sun, S-U-N, or S-O-N, whichever one you want, inside of you. And it is the lesson for the two to shine brightly no matter who or what attempts to dim your light. You have a natural light that is so bright, it's exacting, it's piercing. Twos can look at you and they just be like right to your shit. Yeah, you got a whole bunch of fluff and nice suit on, all that. A two will look all the way past that and see your shoe is untied. They have that light, that piercing, penetrating like a laser, and go right to the soft area, right to whatever the issue is. Two has that ability. The love of peace is the strength of the two. And staying peaceful empowers the two. When the two is off balance and chaotic, you lose your power. When you can be angry and at peace, oh, you're a force to be reckoned with. When you can be displeased with something but at peace, peace with yourself and expressing your displeasure, oh, there's power. You have the power. And again, you have the light of the cosmos, so it's going to penetrate. Peace, the love of peace is your strength. Gentleness, sensitiveness, insight into right and wrong, the gift of persuasion, talent for unity are its never failing reward. Gentleness is your never failing reward. Sensitiveness, insight into right and wrong, the gift of all of these are your never failing reward. And you by leaning on your gentleness, by leaning into your sensitiveness, by leaning into all of these, the gift of persuasion, the number two, can go anywhere they want. It's limitless. It's limitless. It's definitely a spiritual gift for you. We're going to run to expansion. I'm going long. I promise I won't keep us over the time today. What expands the two? Living in peace with mankind is its reward. What expands you is gaining your results without the discord. What also expands you, bringing others together for a common cause. The two is not a natural executive. However, through tact, diplomacy, and spiritual insight, your intuition, of which the two may not even be aware of, it persuades others to accomplish what no one could accomplish alone. That's the power of the two. The two can bring divergent people together, and a fight can almost break out, and let the two be the head of the group. And yeah, by the end of it, everybody's gonna be singing Kumbaya and eating s'mores, because that's just how the two can roll. The two, to expand, the two should give its talents and keen perception to the final goal for the good of many, not just for the good of one. The purpose in life's work. Here are some of the opportunities and some of the vocations for the two. Facts, you're a fact and stat gatherer. Anything that's dealing with collecting facts, collecting data, getting stats together, putting reports together, graphs, charts, things of that nature, the two is a natural at it. The two can put two and two together. So if it is a job that has many variables that can go together for a successful outcome, the two is perfect for that. The two has a gift of accuracy. So much so that the two can beat a calculator. I've seen them do it. I've seen a two actually add faster and more accurate than a calculator. You have a fine sense of timing and rhythm, so a two can do anything, performing art, especially a visual performing art, dance or theater, or even live art like painting, anything of like that, anything that has an appreciation of beauty or aesthetic taste, putting the wardrobe together for the models who walk up and down the runway, putting the music together for a DJ that's gonna be doing a big party, anything that has the appreciation of beauty or aesthetic taste, and spiritual intelligence. Anything that is dealing with spiritual intelligence or the intellectual breakdown of spirituality, that is something that the two can dive in and make a tremendous success for themselves. Specific fields for the two: technical fields of electricity, electronics, radio and TV. When you're dealing with the laws of sound or the laws of space or the laws of light, both on the material and the spiritual plane, twos are very adept at that. Very adept. both in for electricity and electronics, radio and TV, both for the design and building and repair. However, also in the understanding and the dissertation of the theory of how the stuff works. Because they are so accurate and such facts and stat gatherers, banking, financing, distribution, and control of monies for the welfare of the public, anything of those natures. A lot of twos end up being executors of estates and executors for wills and or power of attorney or guardians for either older individuals or individuals who are disabled or otherwise cannot control the money for themselves, because the twos are honest. They are so honest that they really just can be trusted. And I just got a question. It says, you're talking about the two life path, correct? I'm talking about the two life path and the two, if it comes in on your name, first name, middle name, last name, soul's journey, soul's urge, soul's energy, habit challenge, reality, or personality. So it's more than just 22 is an 11. It's an 11, but the 22 is a 4. 2 plus 2 is a 4. So, but there's two twos in that. And when I get to the master numbers, because I'm gonna do a whole series on the master numbers, I'll explain about the two twos that are in the 22-4. I will explain about that. Also, all lines of medicine, healing, and health matters. Nurses, anestheticians, dietitians, physician's assistants, brain surgeons, nerve specialists, lab assistants, and all new age, holistic, homeopathic, spiritual healing. Twos are natural. Twos have an intuition. Twos have a direct link to every homeopathic, natural, or holistic remedy known to man. It's already inside of you. You have a natural remedy Rolodex inside of you. If you're a 2, 11, 2, or a 202, it's just bam, and you can call it up and you can conjure it up and you can make it. Whatever is in any store that's dealing with a medicine or something that is medicinal, or if it's any prescription or anything like that, a 2 can make it. You can make it on your own. You can make it, and you'll make it better than what the store can make it or what the pharmacist can make it. Religious activities. And what I mean by religious activities, because the 2 is balanced, they're very good at teaching or training those seeking spiritual guidance. The 2 is not a fluffy talker. So 2 wouldn't want to be a preacher. You cannot shove a 2 into the preacher's box. However, teaching and training those seeking spiritual guidance, sure. A Bible study teacher, Sunday school teacher, teaching the intricacies of a doctrine, getting folks on the same page about what goes on with the doctrine, teaching the church bylaws or anything of those nature, where it's really the spiritual guidance. Yeah, the 2 would definitely excels at that. And I really want to tell you that a lot of the assistants, and the pastors don't even know that this happens, but a lot of the assistants who assist the pastors are 2s. Yeah, it just, they just attract, you guys just attract, the 2 is just attracted to the training and the teaching of the intricacies of the spiritual guidance. Most 2s have either neglected or untrained musical or artistic talent, and could be some of the finest musicians, singers, dancers, choreographers, sound engineers, all of that. But most of their musical and artistic talent is either neglected or untrained because the two is so concerned about balance, and the two is a workaholic. The two thinks, unless they have some strong threes in their chart, the two thinks that fooling around with music and art and painting, that's just silly. They believe it's silly and a waste of time. But they have so much musical and artistic talent in them. Could make money painting, could make money writing, could make money playing an instrument, singing, tuning instruments, tuning pianos, tuning the woodwind instruments. Twos can work really well with sound and frequency and vibration. Twos are very good public administration, government work, education, bookkeepers, accountants, secretaries, things of those natures, note takers, auditors, especially in the public administration or educational arena. Twos are drawn to that, and you excel in that. They excel in it. And lastly, consultants where personal weakness, personal faults, or detrimental habits must be discovered and overcome. The two is a natural at that. Life coaching, substance abuse coaching, trauma healing and trauma processing, all of that, the two is natural. Very, 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 very natural at it. Any concerns, any questions about the opportunities and the purpose and the life work for the twos? No? All right. And then lastly, we're going to go to the two on the interpersonal level. When the twos' deep sensitiveness and consideration is not understood, much sadness / suffering and unhappiness results. If the two feels that you don't give a shit about their sensitivities, and or if you're just not unwilling, if you're unwilling to understand them or understand them, suffering and unhappiness comes about, because the two is always desiring to link. Two is always desiring to couple, to partner, to associate, to collaborate. Self-confidence and being authentically themselves are the twos' most important lessons to learn. If you, as a two, confident in yourself, and you are authentically you, can't nobody stop you. McFadden and Whitehead, ain't no stopping us now. That's the balance. That's the self-confident and authentic two. You can walk through a mountain. You can accomplish any and everything that you desire. And a word of praise and admonishment for the two: wanting to please everyone and considering others' feelings and situation is not a weakness. Let me say that again for the 211-2 and the 202. Wanting and desiring to please others and considering others' feelings and situations is not a weakness. It's your power. It is your power. Yes, Atia, you should be associated with twos, especially 22s. You definitely want to associate with 22s and 11-2s, but definitely 22s. 22, I'm going to give you a little quickie on the master number 22. anywhere where the number 22 is found, that's the master of economics and enterprise, a built-in business person. You could sell Eskimo ice in the middle of a blizzard. I mean, that's the power of that 22. And the 22 is 211. So they are a balanced spiritual messenger. Balanced. 2 is about balance. 2 is about, they're diplomatic spiritual messenger. They are, a fair spiritual messenger. Not going to abuse that the power that they have in their spiritual message. And lastly, oh no, not lastly, the 2, the 11-2 or the 202, you shouldn't push them too far. First of all, they are always willing to compromise. They're always willing to come and negotiate, always willing to come and discuss. Once the 2 has drawn the line in the sand, don't push, because then the 2 is going to go into fight and fear and discord mode, and a fearful 2 will hurt you, because a fearful 2 is all they're really attempting to do. They don't necessarily want to hurt you. They just want to get the hell away from this toxic situation. And if you're in their way, then you're going to either have to get out of their way nicely, or they'll just run right through you, because they can't take it being afraid. And then it's toxic or dysfunctional or anything like that. It seems like things are just falling in on them. So they don't like being pushed. Don't push a 2 too far. The 2 grows in harmonious and refined environments. 2 don't like it rough. The 2 don't like if you got a 2 in the hood, they're not going to be happy. They're going to be more concerned with their safety and their security, and not allowing themselves to grow spiritually or mentally, or to express themselves, because they're going to be paying attention, they'll be gathering facts. And it's the first, let me tell you this, the first sign of trouble, the 2 is gone. Gone. Like a scalded cat. The 2 is gone. The 2 ain't never a witness to shit, because as soon as the first sign of trouble come, they gone, they running. They is out of there. They really are. The 2s are very, very popular because of their willingness to compromise, because of their sensitivity, because 2s are normally very approachable, very pleasing to look at, aesthetically. They're very friendly, and the 2 will talk to anybody, because the 2 is always seeking connection, always seeking partnership, always seeking anything. And the 2 has never heard anything that is too outlandish. Never. So they're very popular. And lastly, the 2 needs love, companionship, partnership, and or marriage for happiness. Anybody have anything they want to add to this? I know there's the 2 that is on this call. I'm not gonna put you on Front Street, but if you would like to chime in, please chime in.
Everything you described, oh my gosh, I have medicinals, herbs that I'm already putting concoctions together, and they're, time is making them stew. Everything you described is so me. It is so me. Wow.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. It is
but I'm 22.
Absolutely. Well, you have some 2s somewhere else though in your chart. Okay. I've seen them. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've seen them. The 2 balanced and authentically themselves and self-confident. The 2 is probably the most powerful of all of the even numbers. Because no matter what, the 2 is always going to err on the side of consideration to the other. The 4 is attempting to secure shit. So the 4 will hurt you. The 4 will kick you out. If you don't fit, the 4 is a box. So if you don't fit, the 4 is happy to leave your ass outside. The 6 is concerned about duty and service and honor. So the 6 is rolling forward. And the 8 is about money. So the 8 will chew you up, 2 interconnected curves. It'll just grind you right up. The 2 is about balance. The 2 is about harmony. 2 is about peace. The 2 is about equal exchange of energy.
You know, ironically, as you know my journey because we talked, but I'm also in apartment unit 22.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that it's just, and everyone who has come to my space has gotten a major opening and awakening. And
Absolutely.
their whole world just seems like it has just been
transformed.
wow.
That's what 2 2s together, spiritual message and the message that they get in your apartment, it always solidifies them and it fortifies them. And you box them in to where they can't run. They have to get the healing. They have to get it. The 22 makes a 4. The 4 is calling for the fortress. You box them in and you have to let them out. Absolutely. Absolutely. And with it being the master of economics and enterprise, that's the perfect spot for your retreat. Perfect spot for it.
I feel that. Oh my gosh, I feel it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody else comment about today? Well, I'm really, really, really grateful for everybody being here today. A piece of advice for if your number is 2, seek balance. However, seek your own authenticity. If you're number 11, 2, seek harmony, yet always push yourself outside of your comfort zone. And if you are a 202, haste makes waste. Think it out 7 times before deciding. With that, I'm going to open it up. Anybody want to have any final words, any last words before we check out?
Just really quickly. That's funny. You said seek balance in your own authenticity. What's really interesting is that's my soul journey. That's what I'm here for. You know that already.
Absolutely.
Is authentic, my authentic truth.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow.
Absolutely.
It's an amazing day.
Yeah, all the 2 has to do is have confidence in self and be good with being authentic, and the world is your oyster. Yeah, you can walk in any arena, any endeavor, any vocation, anything that the 2 desires, as long as you got your self-confidence and you're authentic. Nothing can hold you back. Nothing at all. Well, I thank and I'm grateful for everybody being here. This has been On the Sevens with Pythias B. Metatron, where we awaken, ascend, and expand. We're going through the 88 steps into your mastered self, and somewhere along your soul's journey, your mastered self awaits you. I have been scolded about how I end the meeting, so I will say I love you all, and I will see you all on Tuesday. And I'm going to say goodbye for now, but I'm going to allow everyone else to say their goodbye as well.
Goodbye. I was late. Send it to me, please, Paris. Please send it to me because I was late. I was out all day with my son. He took me out. Dr. Atia, you look great. I love your hair. Love everybody, and yay.
Goodbye for now.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Bye.